Quest for Neater, new campaign, load a save. Very Bkan, I think it is.
Yeah, very Bkan.
Big hot every sex 12, and then we have fucking kuk, which means cock. I love the creativity I have when I name my saves.
What about when I name vehicles?
We don't talk about that.
When either of us name anything, actually. That's the most accurate way of putting it.
I mean, fucking super speed sex.
Kranvagn hot sex. And
Yes.
And very, very big Z.
A very big Z fucking.
Yes. Save game finished loading.
Is it loading?
Yep, it is. Don't know why it works for you. It's so bizarre.
My computer is just better.
Apparently. Oh, hello. Hello, Magnet. Hello! Why am I inside the ship?
I'm not even in yet.
I'm inside the deck of the ship. Ah! Oh, there we go.
Wow. Well done, the mission is complete. Yeah, okay.
We know. Oh my god, the barrels are still like this.
Yes.
Elly was here. Alright everyone, welcome back to From the Depths. As you can see, Magnet still has the modifications, shall we say, from the end of the last one. In case you're wondering why we're still here, well, we have some things left unfinished that we would like to do before the next campaign. Mainly, we would like to do a little sort of introduction to each ship, partly because by bizarrely popular demand we've had requests for the blueprints, which I have not yet provided, but I thought this will kill two birds with one stone. We'll give a little bit of a backstory for each ship, like maybe talk about some of the best battles that they participated in, and I'll also put all of the blueprints, not all of them, because that would be too much work, but most of them I will upload. All of the main ones definitely. Magnet, Vasa, Gustav, Kristina, so on and so on. Might not put, you know, what have we got here that I might not put? Like the resource gatherer, I might not put.
You should upload the Bkan.
I kind of want to put land vehicles up. I kind of do.
Yeah, put the fucking Kranvagn, Bkan, and my favorite, E-mouse.
Maybe not the E-mouse.
Maybe yes, the E-mouse.
Maybe not the troll slender either. But you know, so do you mind if I put Magnet's barrel back? Is that okay?
Of course.
Okay.
Remove the extension.
Oh my goodness.
There
we go.
Surgery.
Are the boilers on?
Yes.
Why are the boilers on?
Yes.
Why am I going here but on foot and not? This is the wrong place. It's been so long since I've been on this ship.
I've already turned them off.
They're off? Okay, good. Not that we have, you know, a problem with our economy.
The economy is in shambles.
So anyway, shall we start with Magnet? Seeing as it's here, we may as well, right? This is our
yes.
finest ship, our propaganda machine. We built this in episode, I want to say like 8 or 9.
But the idea of Magnet existed way before that. The first version of Magnet, like the original idea, I don't exactly remember from when, but if we compared those two, I don't know if you can put up a picture of the original, like the original Carolus X.
I do have all of the screenshots, so I will be able to.
Yes. If you compare the old one with Magnet, a lot of progress has been made. This is my favorite ship, one of my favorite ships of the bunch of the army that we have.
Yeah, it was episode 9, by the way, our secret weapon. That was when we...
Introduced Rex and killed everyone.
Yeah, and at that point it had the sort of bluish-purple paint. It was
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't the one with the anti-air cannons. That one never saw combat. It was the one where instead of the crams we had smaller advanced cannons, which actually... If it wasn't for the fact that the turrets were so extremely ugly, I think that version was probably actually like not bad. Then later we tried anti-aircraft missiles, which were just a waste of resource. And then this version has got a grand total of 20 medium torpedoes, which, like, honestly, they're also kind of pointless because we have railguns.
Yeah, from the times where I've manned the guns and manually control them, I can just use the railguns and they function almost perfectly as anti-submarine and anti-air.
Yeah. So, I don't really know why I obsessed with this part of the ship so much, but it is also... it's old in the sense that you can see how old it is because of the armor layout. I've since learned that this like double layered metal air gap, and then what is this? Okay, so double layer metal air gap, double layer metal it's all right for the start of the game. When we first spawned it in, it was definitely okay, but towards the end, especially after we removed the repair bots to see the true survivability, Magnet started actually getting quite shredded by things. Especially in... Which battle was it? I think it was actually the Onyx Watch battle, where we had to... We lost Vasa, Magnet got eviscerated, and then Laser had to carry our butts through the rest of it. We will get into the story of that battle probably a bit later when we talk about the others, because Magnet didn't actually do a lot in that one. It started off as a wonder weapon that transformed us from, oh god, the lightning hoods, to, haha, the lightning hoods.
It carried the first half, but then it became obsolete. Not obsolete, but weakened.
The weapon systems were always glorious, and they always will be. It is just a bit of a glass cannon towards the end. And the crams, like the crams and the torpedoes, are just a bit of a waste of space, and replacing them with more armor, or I don't know, like some laser systems would probably, or some plasmas would be a good combo. Basically anything except this. The crams are they're for show, really. They're very flashy. I tell you what, though, if it wasn't for the crams, we wouldn't have had the house incident.
Question me and die.
Yeah, literally. That was one of the best moments of the campaign. But yeah, that is Magnet, and hopefully I will have put on screen the various iterations of it, because I have... Really, there were three main iterations. This is part of the third iteration. It's just slightly modifications on it. The second had the pointy rear end that we later modified to fit a bigger engine in there. And then the very original version looked like a big version of the original Vasa, which we will also get into. But yeah, that actually featured in one of my videos, though. That was in the Rex versus Rebellion video, so you can actually go and watch that if you're interested. You probably aren't, but you know, who knows?
When was that video released? Wasn't it like Let me grab my phone. I need to check this out real quick. Hold up. Hold your horses, everyone.
From the depths. Show all. Sort by date inverted.
I don't want Star Wars. I want.
Oh wait, no, it featured twice, didn't it? Because it was in. Was it featured twice? Okay, that was September 2019, the one with the Rex with cram cannons on a rounded front and the really, really dumb-looking anti-aircraft turret on the back. Yeah, HMS Carolus Rex Alt 2 versus USS Dreadnought. It featured twice. So yeah. Those are in the playlist that I've got that's just called From the Depths, if anyone wants to check those out. Along with, actually, a video called Bask in the Magnificence, which has the original Kiruna and the very, very original Strömstad in it. And then also we have the Swedish fleet take on the White Flares, which features the original Vasa, and the legend that is Pike. So seeing as I've mentioned Vasa a few times, I think we should go on to Vasa. It makes sense going from Magnet to Vasa. Let me just find it on the mess that is the map.
I found Vasa.
Okay, spawn it in. Hello, Vasa.
It's been a while. I forgot what you look like. That sounds so mean, but I truly did forget what Vasa looked like.
So, Vasa is my favorite, for many reasons. Vasa was, as far as this campaign goes, a bit of a, weird as it sounds, a bit of a side character. It never performed very well. But the guns sound brilliant. Don't know which of us currently has control of the guns. You. But those main guns are silent with the first volley. Okay. There we go. I love how they sound. Yeah, it's another one of those ones with terrible armor. Wait, is it still got wood in it? No. How thick is this? Hang on. Okay, so that's 2 metal thick, and then an air gap. And then is that one layer of... Oh my god, it's double air gap and then single. So yeah, Vasa gets shredded by absolutely anything. It does pack a punch, but it can't deal with aircraft, and it can't deal with submarines, which is like half of the vehicles in the game. The only battle where it was actually an enjoyable fight was like versus the Victoria, because it felt like a proper duel, ship versus ship, which is one battle in the whole campaign. When it fought the Steel Striders, it sucked. When it fought the Onyx Watch, it sucked. I can't remember any other battles, to be honest, because they all just sucked, but I still love it. It at least had better survivability than, like, a few of the previous designs, because it has redundancy in the engine room. Other than that, it just looks pretty. And, it has the marks of honor from... I can't remember, honestly. That's how little I remember. But
wasn't it Vasa that... No, maybe that was Oscar. No, because Oscar is older than Vasa.
Yeah, Oscar was spawning first,
and then Vasa.
Yeah, and it was Oscar that faced against the... Well, I say Oscar, it was like 3 Oscars that faced against the Exodual and won. And it was the Oscars that faced the Kobold and just about won. When Vasa fought the White Flares, it got violated. When Vasa fought the Onyx Watch, it got defeated. Like, you know, it goes hand in hand with Magna. It's a bit of a propaganda thing. But the original Vasa was... And no one will know the reference to this, because no one has seen... Almost no one will have seen the original campaign, because there are only 2 videos of it in existence. But it was designed as an upgrade, or as like a replacement and upgrade at the same time, to the original Kiruna, which was underperforming. I wonder why.
Original Kiruna, the best ship there is. I have no idea what you're talking about.
You don't remember the original Kiruna?
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay,
I
sorry.
was sarcastic.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, you know what I'm like, sometimes I don't pick up on sarcasm, even though I use it myself. I
I'm the
apologize.
same, don't worry. But the original Kiruna, the
The
best there is, where we didn't even think about using AI because we wanted to, or rather, I wanted to control it myself.
well, you know, I wonder where I've seen that before. Thinks about the first episode of the series. I do wonder. But no, the original Vasa was very ugly.
Yes.
And the weapon systems were above deck. But it fought valiantly against the White Flayers, and later I then upgraded or took heavy inspiration from the hull but wanted to make it better looking, and that's when I made a prototype called Megalodon, which no one will have ever seen, but it was the hull that then got used on Oscar. That Oscar then got spawned in episode something. I don't know when, to be honest. Because every single thumbnail between the start of the series and Magnet was either a frog or an enemy. So, whichever episode it was, we spawned in Oscar. It sucked. And the best part is, you requested Karolin, and we got Oscar. And then Karolin didn't appear until, like, episode 40 or something? When was it, actually?
Well, you did answer my request, so...
Yeah, it was just, you know, it wasn't exactly next day delivery.
Amazon Prime be like...
No, it was Scammers on Crime is what it was. Oh no, episode 19. Right. So, just a few episodes late. We're getting off track. Vasa, brain, work, do the thing. Yeah, it goes to show there isn't really a lot to say. Vasa, it looks nice. Oh, you know, then that version of Oscar got copy-pasted, sideways, back to front, and then turned into Oscar Mark II. That then worked a bit better. I then gave it more guns, more guns and better guns. It was slightly better again. Then I was like, I want to bring Vasa back. I'm going to stuff as many weapons as physically possible into the same hull. Then we got Vasa. Then that's that.
And this is what we got.
Yes. So I guess now we go to Oscar. We have several Oscars. Now we play a game of Spot the Difference. Actually, two of them have the marks on the wrong end. What happened here? One of them is... I swear only two of them are meant to have marks. What the hell? Either way, it doesn't matter.
Oh, well.
Which one is the... Okay, so we've got 2 Alt 5, 2 Alt... So the one in the middle... This one... The one you're on is the Alt 2? What is the difference? Does anyone know? Can someone tell us what the difference is?
This one still has wood inside. Does the other ones have wood inside?
They probably do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of them have. Anyways, Oscar II, beasts. Like
very surprisingly, though, because they were never meant to be.
They weren't meant to be, but they fulfilled that role extraordinarily. Like, they were just effective.
they were cheap, so we could mass produce them. We were able to send them basically wherever. They had the same problem as Vasa, as only being useful against ships, but we were able to deploy them in such large numbers that it didn't matter. Brilliant support ship as well, like for like Gustav and who else? I can't remember. They also worked with the Strömstad on occasion. But yeah, very, like, bit of an unsung hero, to be honest, the Oscars, and not, like, particularly glamorous in any way. Not actually that powerful, but they pulled us through on many, many occasions, and for that we wouldn't have been able to have victories, so everyone contributed, really, you know?
Yeah.
But here you can see a side-by-side of the Oscar and the Vasa, and the sheer firepower increase. It is quite drastic, actually.
One of the key memories I have from Oscar, I think it was the Oscar. My memory is a little bit fucked right now, so I'm not entirely sure. There was this one, I don't remember which fleet it was. I cannot recall their names, but there was this one ship that had a grappling hook that would hook the ship upwards. I think you know what I'm talking about.
The Last Rite.
The Last Rite, yes. And so, the Last Rite fucking grappled onto Oscar by the front and pulled it out of the water.
That was Vasa.
So it was Vasa!
Yeah, that's why I was saying when Vasa fought the White Flares, it got its ass handed to it. The Last Rite died in the process, but yeah.
and my computer.
Yeah, you crashed.
Oh, yeah. My memory is a bit fucked.
No,
So I apologize in advance.
No, but Oscar did also get grabbed by it, but the Last Rite got taken out the sky before it was able to do anything. So, yeah, the usual kind of Oscar kind of going like an unsung hero, and then Vasa just
Vasaing.
Yeah, Vasa moment, certified Vasa moment.
But yeah, I like Oscar. They were fun to command, and they were fun to shoot with, and surprisingly effective for how it's built, how the main cannons look compared to like Vasa. It was literally just like, are we having issues? Slap an Oscar on it, and it'll work.
Literally, no joke. Yes, we always had an Oscar on standby. It was brilliant.
Are we having issues? No worries, Oscar.
Oscar shaped solutions to everything shaped problems. Is it effective? Well, in loud enough quantities, yeah.
Oscar is literally our flex tape. To show you the power of Oscar, I saw this boat in half.
Now that's a lot of damage.
Yes, Oscar is Oscar is great. It's certainly not one of my favorite ships, but it is still like it's near the top. I had a lot of fun with it when the side cannons worked and when they aimed.
Yeah, but also
and
when
again,
you got your ass removed by torpedoes, it was not fun. The many times that happened, Steel Strider's moments.
Yes.
But yeah, like the workhorse of the fleet basically is Oscar.
Yes.
And as previously mentioned, it's the in-between of the original Vasa and the Vasa you see over here. Not this version. This is technically the third iteration, because it was original Vasa, first Oscar, second Oscar, and then this Vasa, so 4 in total. Anyway, who now is a good question. Maybe would you rather do Strömstad or Kiruna now?
Let's do Kiruna.
Okay. The
Where is
absolute
Kiruna?
just south of us.
Oh, there he is.
The Frankenship and impossible to
God.
command. Kiruna has a bit of a long story behind it. Probably because it's literally the oldest ship.
It's the oldest ship that is still like active. And what I mean by active, whenever we moved out, we left Kiruna behind. The few battles it saw. No.
The problem was we spawned in way too late. I think it would have been somewhat alright earlier on. The lasers especially would have been a really good defensive. Like, it was meant to be a defensive ship, and we were on the offensive, so...
Yeah.
But, this ship was... The original version of this ship, which I will probably put on screen if I can find a picture of it or something similar, was... I want to say it was the very first ship. I think it was.
It was. Kiruna was the first one. It wasn't that great.
I mean, we were brand new. So...
Yes. We have that excuse. We were brand new. But this, you can still see it on the hull.
Well, I wanted to use the same hull. That was the whole point, because I thought if I rebuild it, it is not going to be Kiruna anymore, is it? So... But I also... The main problem I ran into is the hull is so shallow. If we just caps lock it for a moment. It's so flat! It's a pancake of a ship. So there was like no room to actually do anything with it. So I went sideways. And this is what we ended up with. Kiruna has actually had three iterations. This is the third one. The second one is what this is based on, was the utterly useless... Let me see if I can find what it was called, because I don't want to get it wrong. Is it in Classics? No, this is the original. This one. HSwMS Kiruna UPG Alt 7 SPG variant.
Oh. Oh.
That one. That one fought in the White Flares battle that I mentioned earlier. The Swedish fleet take on the White Flares, alongside Pike and Vasa. Now, it was... I think it got 2, maybe 3 hits on the enemy the whole battle, only because you managed to wrangle it into functioning. Kind of. The original Kiruna was unironically better. This one was meant to be taking that idea and making it actually work, which it kind of does. It does more, but it doesn't fully do. It also literally does not listen to commands. It's
got a tendency to jam.
No, I fixed that. The reason why it doesn't listen to commands is because it has a custom breadboard control, where basically, if there's an enemy, it will automatically point at it, because I don't trust the vanilla, what is it, point at enemy routine?
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing? It can wave. So I gave it its own custom point at AI, which is awful. I think if there was an enemy, you wouldn't be able to control Kiruna, because it would automatically override with its custom breadboard AI. But when there's no enemy, it's fine, like this. Which, you know, isn't that useful, because how often do we move a ship around when there isn't an enemy?
Never.
Yeah. Either way, this is Kiruna. Don't touch it. Hello?
I wanna enjoy a period of peace.
Yes, please. Next meeting in 2 hours with ourselves.
Very effective meeting.
Yes, so, yeah, it will be... The blueprint will be available for it, but please, just ignore it. There's nothing to see here.
The only worthy thing you can do with Kiruna is what I'm about to do.
Oh no.
Make it into a tank.
We're on fire now. Land Kiruna isn't real and can't hurt you. Meanwhile, Land Kiruna.
Don't worry, we have angled armor.
Well, less of it than we did before, but yes. And that definitely totally worked against the Onyx Watch, didn't it?
Yes.
You know what, Kiruna, sit here.
You can capture. I'll send the Oscars to capture this as well.
Okay, yeah, because that is something we should do in the meantime, is capture every single zone on the map, and we can be doing it while we're doing the rest of this. I will let you deal with it, because I am tired of micromanaging 20,000 ships.
Let's talk about the Strömstads, yes? These were originally from the classic one as well, although heavily upgraded and way better than the original one. Although they still had their own problems. They sometimes just refused to fire. I believe that happened a lot when we first spawned them in.
It wasn't refused to fire, it was refused to move.
Oh, right. And one single hit, like... One hit, and the Strömstad was just... No. It's a glass cannon. Once the missiles actually hit, and once it got to fire the missiles, and they hit, a lot of damage.
Yeah. Devastating alpha strike, but no survivability, at least at first. This version is substantially better. The best way I describe Strömstad is it had teething issues.
Yes.
Quite significant ones. This also is... I tried to make the shape of the hull at the front somewhat similar to the original, but otherwise it is a completely different build and is Strömstad only by name and by submarine. And fun fact for those that don't know about the original Strömstad, the very original Strömstad, it wasn't meant to be a submarine. And the story as to why it became a submarine is because we didn't know how to do weight balancing. So it was very front heavy. We gave it a counterweight at the back. Then it was too heavy. Then we decided, fuck it, you can be a submarine. That's the story of Strömstad, and here we are. Wait, yeah, look. Okay, I actually have the vehicles here.
Okay, that's good.
So I have HMS Strömstad. It's like Kiruna, but without the superstructure. Then we have Alt 2, where you see this sort of... It's like a superstructure and a crane thing, and then Alt 3, this is a torpedo turret, and that's a submarine. There's one of the old Vasas as well. There's an old Oscar. Kiruna and a different Kiruna. This Kiruna. So yeah, they are there. As far as like battles that this thing has been in, it saw a lot of combat against the Twin Guard, And while it got deleted a few times, it also put up a really, really good fight. And there were so many moments where I think we only won because Strömstad landed a full missile barrage and crippled the enemy. It's kind of along the same line as the Oscar, really. Original sort of design, kind of hopeless. Also somewhat cheap, in fact really cheap. Hits much harder than Oscar. I see you. I see this.
No.
And then, you know, over time, iterated upon and improved to be more survivable and just more useful in general to us. Another workhorse, but not as highly deployed as the Oscars. Also, the only submarine in the fleet, so it has that going for it.
That's pretty much it. The only submarine.
Which, ironically, is bad against submarines because it only has 12 torpedoes.
It doesn't know how to fight its own kind.
Yeah. I did later give it torpedo defenses, though. It has these decoys. Really, really overkill decoys. I don't think there is really much else to say about Strömstad. Again, blueprints should be in the description.
Shall we move on to the next ship? Which one? I would like to talk about the frogs.
Yeah, the frogs. I see one frog. Two frog.
I have all of them.
Okay, good. These fine fellas were... bit of a wonder weapon, as weird as it sounds. No, stop. Uh-oh, we might have a frog moment. No, we didn't have a frog moment. Very good. Why are you sinking?
No, it isn't.
It thought about it. So, the frogs. And Toad. So the frogs and the toads, they were, after our, 2-year break? After Pike died? They were
Splinus.
our...
Rest in peace, Splinus.
Yeah, Splinus boat tips. This was our what do you call it? Our comeback, yeah. Our one frog to rule them all. It worked way better than I ever hoped. And even when it didn't work, it still worked. It has these ancient boiler controls, the ancient shield controls. You sit in the missile room.
Very safe.
Yeah. The engines are awful. It still uses stone to protect the AI.
But even with like this ancient design, when it was first put into play, I do believe we single-handedly took down the Deepwater Guard with the frogs. And the only thing that made us realize, maybe it wasn't just the frogs, but the frogs were literally carrying most of the Deepwater Guard campaign. And they would only turn obsolete, and I do mean actually obsolete, by the time we found the lightning hoods.
Yeah.
Because even though they were fast, they were not fast enough for the Candela. And even though, like, none of the missiles reached Candela,
No.
none of the shells would hit Candela.
Yeah.
And these would just end up being utterly destroyed.
It wasn't so much the fact that they weren't fast enough, because nothing is fast enough to beat a laser. It's the fact that, firstly, they are very small, very lightly armored. And compared to the Candela, oh god, what? No. Okay, good. From my perspective, it looked like you were going to crash. There you go. It doesn't manually control, by the way. I never implemented that. Yeah. But yeah, against the Deepwater Guard, technically the Oscar helped us, the original Oscar, but that was towards the end. But the second that we fought the Lightning Hoods, the Candela showed up and just removed us. We didn't have smoke deployers, we weren't able to fight back in any way, and we didn't have time to retreat either. But despite all of that, I think, honestly, if it wasn't for the frog, we probably wouldn't have continued and finished the campaign. If Oscar allowed us to have victory, I think the frog was like the catalyst for the actual campaign as a whole, because if this had failed, we may have just not continued playing again.
Gone back.
But because it was so damn effective, it got addicting to just keep going on the, on the crusade, as you kept calling it.
Yeah, it was a crusade. It was like I field march. No, not field march. No, I don't remember the name. It was a huge ass campaign, a huge crusade. We were unstoppable in the beginning with just 2 or 3 frogs. One of them still has the turret, which is the one I prefer to command because turret, angled armor, my favorite.
Yeah, it does look Kranvagn inspired.
After the Lightning Hoods incident, the frogs were eventually demoted to border patrol or like border guards. Or dare I even say home guard?
I think they were
Because
used
we
for
knew
capturing territory.
That as well. But my slightly bad memory does remember that the frogs were placed near the border of Onyx Watch.
Oh yeah, that's right. Along
as
with...
well Rehnskiöld and the Karolin.
Yeah.
No, not the Karolins.
Yeah, it was the Karolins, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because we knew that eventually the Onyx Watch would become our enemies. And they actually had a perfect opportunity to strike us at the very heart and force us out of the war. But is the AI smart? No.
No, they just made like 12 billion small units.
Yeah.
I'm really annoyed that we didn't see the 2 main enemies of the Onyx Watch, because I really thought we were going to.
It would have been very fun to battle them, but alas, it didn't happen.
Did you know we didn't even see half of the main Grey Talons and Steel Striders enemies either?
This is so sad.
Mm.
Can we get 5 likes?
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, the frogs carried the first episodes, and if it wasn't for the frogs, we wouldn't have completed the campaign. I appreciate the frogs. They were awesome in the beginning, and they were still quite fun to use.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna say, with the frogs, for those watching, if you download them, they are unironically really, really good to use early game against the Deepwater Guard, but after that, you may as well scrap them. I mean, they may be alright against some of the White Flayers and Onyx Watch, but other than that, they're an early game powerhouse and then fall off quickly. They were also, I want to say, the first hydrofoil I made. One of the first that actually worked well. Also, they will crash into each other, so just keep that in mind.
Give them some personal space. They're just like Swedish people. They need their personal space, otherwise they'll just crash into each other and die. I speak from experience.
Oh no, it's happening! Oh no!
And yeah, if you try to manual control this happens.
It's I mean, frogs are meant to go underwater, so... Frogs are also meant to be amphibious, which this isn't. You didn't want to make it amphibious at one point. I said no.
Yeah, just put wheels. on it.
I hate to say the fact that it would kind of work, but no!
No.
I refuse. Anyway, shall we move on now? Yes.
Yes.
Carolines now?
The Karolins.
Moving now. Receiving. Moving now. Receiving. Moving now.
Which we have 4 of. Look at them. Oh, they're so good looking.
They are very, like, sleek, very angled. I like this design. I truly do. The Karolins they're very cheap as far as I can remember.
About the same cost as a Strömstad.
261,000 materials. So these are somewhat able to be mass produced. However, they are not very well armored.
You say that, but I don't think we ever had one get destroyed fully.
No, and there was also this one Karolin that could.
Oh yes, against the Basilica. It's not the Ballistica. It's not the Ballistica, it's a Basilica. I am aware.
And they have the Swedish flag, so if you disrespect Karolin, I will disrespect you. Just a warning.
They're an original design in the sense that they aren't based on an old design. They weren't built for the campaign, but they have only seen combat in this campaign. They aren't, they aren't a multi-war thing like some of the others are. There isn't really anything to say about them. They're just small, somewhat fast, maneuverable, mediocrely armored, rapid fire sort of general purpose support ships.
Receiving.
Yeah, but once again, you shouldn't underestimate it. It took out the Basilica.
Just about.
It did take a beating, but it won.
Yeah, they worked really, really well in combination with other ships and more of themselves, which is really, that is their namesake, so that works.
Yes,
they are a foot soldier. They're the riflemen of the
army.
Yes, well, navy, but yeah.
Navy. But yeah, there's not really much to say about them except that they are cheap, mediocre armor, but they work.
Yeah.
And in groups, they can deal quite a bit.
They're like a smaller Oscar, basically.
Yes. So, since there's not much else to say about it, I will send these out on a mission.
Okay. They're another of the unsung heroes, basically. I will say that they're one of the better looking ships that I've made, especially from how old they are. Actually, there is one thing to say. The original version of the Karolin that never got built had large missiles. And the reason it never got built is because the original Oscar was cheaper. Then Oscar was no longer cheaper, but we still kept building Oscars.
Shall we talk about the laser?
I would say Rehnskiöld should come next.
Rehnskiöld.
Because Rehnskiöld fought alongside, actually, basically everyone. They fought alongside the Oscars, they fought alongside the Strömstads, they fought alongside Karolins. I think they even fought alongside Magnet at one point. And Vasa, I think. Against the Lightning Hoods. Yeah.
They've been through a fair share of missions. They've seen their fair shares of battles, both against enemies and against me.
Yeah, they are the, let me just turn movement off. They've been the sort of the punching bag of the fleet. They exist purely as a bait to shoot at, both from the enemy and the jets are just a form of entertainment for our captain. I would say Rehnskiöld is honestly the worst, most outdated, and least useful ship in the whole fleet, possibly bar Kiruna. No, Kiruna is more useful because it can defend itself with its lasers. Rehnskiöld is a 750,000 material waste. It's still gonna be in the description, but please, for the love of God, don't use it.
And if you do use it, make sure to improve it. And if you do improve it, let us know at... We do not have an email at gmail.com.
I was gonna say at nowhere/YouTube/Discord/yes at dot blah. I don't know. So.
If my opinion on Rehnskiöld, it was an amazing idea. I really wanted to have an airship carrier that could potentially be... I don't know, I forgot
Aircraft
the name.
carrier.
Aircraft, fine. Airship. Aircraft carrier.
Although it did fly once! I don't know if you remember that, when it got spawned in the air.
Oh yes. It wanted to become an airplane. But anyways, I had high hopes for this. This ship. Like, it was supposed to be majestic, and we chose the name Rehnskiöld because one of Sweden's greatest field marshals was Carl Gustav Rehnskiöld. I think his name was. We can correct that post, but sadly it did not live up to its expectations, and instead we just found pure entertainment from it by me hijacking one of the planes and driving it into space and having Strömstad up his ass. And Orbital proceeds to blame me for it.
Technically, that still stands because I did ask you to set up the fleet and you did set up the fleet. So...
I didn't. I don't recall setting up the fleet.
You did. I asked you to. It's in the footage. If we ever get around to watching the series again, which I would like to do, you will see. I had to ask you a few times because you kept forgetting. But
I blamed by the fact that you were the host and I did not know how to set up the fleet.
Well, it is fair that you didn't know how, but you still did.
Because you told me to.
And I'm not mad because it was hilarious.
I'm not mad either. It's just funny.
It is funny. And yeah, that scene will probably have played on screen, or I might put it in the video somehow, like in a gap, because I'm edited in because the audio has to go with it. Because my microphone peaks at that point.
Why are we sinking? Why is Rehnskiöld sinking?
Is it?
Yes, it is. What the fuck? One of our ships are dead.
No, it's 100% health.
What? We were below. We spawned in water, and one of our jets are dead on arrival.
What the hell? Let me come over here. Okay, but it's floating now. Oh, what the hell? What? Oh, Strömstad! Look!
What?
Look at the back of Rehnskiöld.
Oh.
I blame you entirely for this because you set up these fleets. Okay, hang on, give me a moment to just zoom out. No, I can't zoom out, hang on.
Receiving.
Pull it out of play! Pull it out of play!
I'm trying! Calm yourself! Is it? No, it isn't. Oh, for feck's sake! My goodness!
That was not...
It was you! I told you to set up these fleets.
Yes, but I didn't know they were gonna be so close to each other.
Well,
I entirely forgot about that, but it's okay, I think.
maybe we should, like, start this
Well,
recording over?
No. We keep
You
going.
sure?
Yes.
Because, like, we haven't done anything, so we could just start over.
No. Whatever happens.
I've suffered brain damage now.
What do you think I have?
There is not really much to say about these, except that once we realized that these weren't useful, we put them on home guard duty.
There is actually a bit of backstory, though, if you don't mind me going into that.
Go into it.
Okay, so the hull, for a start, is, I think, derived from Oscar or similar. You know, it could be the larger version of the Oscar hull. Then if you remember, there was when I adjusted the original Vasa, I made 2 sizes of new hull. This could be the bigger hull and then lengthened. I also love the freaking if you look at it from underneath, it is so ugly. It's just awful.
It's flat, and then you have 2 bulges.
Yeah, which, as you can see, very clearly afterthought turning propellers. The side guns were probably the best thing I gave it, because they're somewhat decent APS guns, and there are lots of them. 52 RPM? What's the, okay, they are heat rounds. 870 meters a second. And they've got 16 fragments doing 2,000 damage each. And they can penetrate basically anything. So the side guns, honestly, like, if you just removed all of the aircraft, just all the aircraft off, all the deck, all the everything, and just have the guns, you'd have a better ship.
The only problem is you can only shoot from the side, and if they are behind you or in front of you, you are fucked.
Yeah, but the point was that it was meant to have its aircraft to support it, but the aircraft are garbage. They look beautiful, but it really needs more missiles and better missiles. They have 2 frag warheads in them. They're such puny missiles. And there's room to make them bigger. I think the limiting factor was the ammo. Yeah, it was the ammo. And then there are these guns, which are here purely because I wanted something to fill the space. I don't know why. I've got some 50mm guns here, but I do. Are you trying to fly this one?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's another one of those ones where if the amount of time the jets fell out the sky and you can't control the jets, and it's just because of automated systems. Also, I think you're actually propelling the Rehnskiöld into the other Rehnskiöld by doing that. I'm not sure. Anyway,
No.
One of the best memories of Rehnskiöld is when I rammed the Wonder with it. Because that did happen. That moment was in the montage. But yeah, Rehnskiöld, should have been, but isn't.
That's pretty much an accurate description of it. It could have, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
And so, it was banished and sent to be home guard.
And now it will be sent to capture. Like, genuinely, I would like to see if people can make a better Rehnskiöld.
That would be amazing.
Because it should live up to its name.
Which ship do you want to talk about now?
Well, you wanted to talk about laser, didn't you?
Yes. So let's gather all the lasers.
Wait, we have 3 of them?
Yes.
Receiving.
I am on the wrong... why am I on a Rehnskiöld? What happened?
Receiving.
Hello, laser. You have boiler controls. Do you have boiler controls? You do. Get boiler controlled. What about you? You also do. Perfect.
Receiving.
So, laser. The first ship that is actually good. Also purpose-built for taking out aircraft, but works very well against ships as well. Its biggest weakness is itself.
There was a tendency to laser itself. But by God, this ship was the shit.
It was.
When we had laser, it destroyed everything in its path, and in a few battles, we won purely because of laser.
Oh, definitely, yeah. We also, it's one of the few ships we never lost. It never got defeated by anything ever. It turned our battles against the Steel Striders from pure pain and suffering to, haha, look at them all dying one by one, the fools. It's also pretty good looking. It's not the best looking. The hull is a lot better than the superstructure. The superstructure is a bit odd, but I've never been particularly good at making them. It's also got some pretty damn gnarly rapid-fire guns as well. But the main deal is the lasers. As is its namesake. It's also named after, what is this, Carl the 11th, so Carolus
Charles
Rex's
11th.
father, right?
Yes, that's right.
Even though this ship came after. And has absolutely nothing to do with Magnet. No part of it is based on Magnet. Or vice versa. But yeah. I mean, the turrets kind of look similar-ish. Maybe-ish, if you squint really hard.
But other than that, no, this is a completely
Actually,
different ship.
no. The only way it's based on Magnet is a version of Magnet no one has ever seen that was called Laser, and it was painted red, and it was a version of Magnet that had lasers on it.
Oh yes, we also have Krut.
Yes, which is technically just the original Magnet. And I keep calling it Magnet. And both of those aren't Magnet. They are Krut and Laser, which are versions of Rex. Magnet is a version of Rex from the one that we chose for the campaign, purely because of the lightning hoods.
And we thought we need fast-firing guns. Rail guns.
Yeah.
And that's how it came to be called Magnet. And it's just faster to say than Rex.
Yeah.
Or it's just stuck in Obi's head. Just say Magnet. Autopilot.
But this was purpose built because we were really struggling with aircraft to the point where it was getting just painful and embarrassing. And it worked so well, we apparently built 3. They are, how much do they cost? Almost $1 million. They go about 40 meters a second. They're very tanky. But they do like to shoot themselves in the back of the head.
Yeah.
But this is the kind of ship that I would recommend you use. You patch up its weaknesses, and you've got a powerhouse, a proper powerhouse that will carry you through basically every battle you want. Especially if it has backup. Give it like a Strömstad, an Oscar, and like Kristina to fight with. We will get to Kristina soon. And you've got like your cheap ships, you've got your tanky ships, you've got all-purpose ships, and then you've got laser. And
Laser is in its own class.
yeah, but it like all the others, it does better with support. Like Kristina and laser combined was probably the most effective fleet we had. It only got used towards the very end, but that felt good. We had anti-aircraft and we had anti-ship. All we needed was anti-submarine, which we never had. Not once throughout the whole series did we either have any quantity of defense against torpedoes, nor defense against submarines. Because I'm smart. But anyway, I actually recommend this ship to anyone that wants to use it. That's kind of all there really is to say about it, though. It does its job. The laser job. Moving on.
Shall we talk about Gustav?
Oh, Gustav, I forgot about Gustav. Where the hell is Gustav? There's Gustav. Oh, Gustav. Goes in the same category as Magnet and Vasa, sadly.
Gustav is, once it spawns in, Gustav is my favorite ship. It is very beautiful, very pretty, and I love the cannons of it.
Yeah. Those anti-aircraft guns are absolutely brutal, apart from the fact that they get taken out stupidly easily.
So whenever I had, like, I would command Gustav all the time if I had the chance. Like, I love Gustav. It did see its fair share of battles, although it was, I believe it suffered one defeat. Just
Two.
because it was all alone, without backup.
Two
It
was my
suffered
fault.
2 defeats even.
We were fighting the Twin Guard and I decided to pull it out of play, and then we lost the battle, and we lost Gustav.
Alright.
That was the first time we lost Gustav. The second time, we didn't technically lose it, but it got fully defeated, and that was against the Kobold. Other than that, I don't think we lost Gustav. But the thing with Gustav is, I think honestly we sent it to the wrong place. We had it fight the Great Talons. Laser just would have been so much better, but laser came much later. The cram cannons would have been, I don't know, either like for giving the Onyx Watch a taste of their own medicine, or perhaps I mean, I don't know. This is the problem with crams, is they're terrible against aircraft, they're terrible against anything that's fast, terrible against anything that has laser defenses. That covers basically all of the ships in the game. So I don't know. And again, it is the old few layers of metal and air gaps armor layout. The anti-aircraft / Seawist guns, I mean, you can tell just by looking at it, there's absolutely no armor there. They got knocked out very often. The missiles hit very hard, but they suffered from the same problem as the crams, in the sense that they weren't particularly accurate, but they hit very hard, and they're pretty slow. It was, it saw most combat fending off aircraft badly. But when it did hit, it was glorious. I will admit, because it's hard not to admit, it looks amazing. I will always be pleased with how it looks. And as you say, that's one of the best things about it.
Although you do get flashbangs. If you look around in the ship, like on the inside, you will get flashbanged.
Yeah, the lights are a bit bright, but again, it looks pretty. But I was going to say, looks don't always bring victory, and
Yeah, sadly.
like I say, Gustav goes in the same category as Magnet and Vasa in that it looks amazing and performs Depends on the enemy, you know? I wouldn't recommend anyone use Gustav, but if you want a desktop background, it is up there. It just... I love that paint job. I know I'm tooting my own horn a bit, but look at that. Just look at it. Isn't it just beautiful?
It is. You should be proud of this. I cannot take any credit besides from the name. I made the name.
For anyone wondering, Elly has named basically everything.
And Obi has built everything.
Yes. If I gave this proper armor, and maybe completely redid the midsection with the missiles and the Seawish guns, you might have a somewhat decent ship, but it's just a what's the word? It's like Magnet, it's a poster boy, you know? I could just look at it all day, I'm sorry. Never mind, okay, bye. Right.
That is Gustav. Once again, one of our most beautiful ships.
Probably the most. The best looking ship.
Receiving.
Yes. And now, we only have a few ships left to talk about. Now, let's talk about parallel universes. I mean, Bernadotte.
This ship is an interesting one.
I honestly forgot about Bernadotte.
Really?
Yes. How she looked like.
Well, it's pretty obvious that it's inspired by Oscar.
But it's special because it has plasma.
Yes and no, because it isn't our only ship with plasma, but it's the smallest ship that we have that has plasma. The thing for me, or at least the story behind Bernadotte, and firstly what I was going to say, the thing about it that kind of makes me a bit sad is that it came very late in the series. It didn't see an awful lot of combat. But the thing about Bernadotte is that, like I say, it is inspired by Oscar, and the idea was I wanted to make something the same size as Oscar and roughly the same cost, although it isn't roughly the same cost, but just significantly better. What the Oscar should have been in the very first place, you know? So the deal with it is, it has substantially more armor by some factors of magnitude, mostly because heavy armor. It also doesn't have the side guns, because the side guns are a bit of a gimmick anyway on the Oscar. It's also unfinished. Don't look on the inside.
I will look on the inside.
But it's the cost is about between an Oscar and a laser. It goes pretty well with a laser because it's got some regular guns, it's got some defensive guns, it's got plasma guns. I think it's also got, it has got a few torpedoes that are an afterthought. It's got 4 of them. I think it has no defense against torpedoes. Who would have thought?
Defense against torpedoes, that's overrated. Just
Yeah.
tank it.
But yeah, it's technically unfinished, but still pretty damn good. It will survive the battles that you put it in. It goes well with Laser and Kristina, and it's basically the bonus sort of 5th generation Oscar/Vasa. Much more modern. It also matches Karolin. like the look of it. Partly because of the camo, partly because of the bridge. I also think that... Did it only face the Steel Striders, or did it also face the Onyx Watch? I can't remember. But that's how late it came in the... Oh, I think it may have faced a bit of the Twin Guard as well. Either way, it doesn't really have any spectacular battle stories. It doesn't have a lot of history. Because, like I say, even though it's based on the Oscar, it isn't a new version of the Oscar. It's just... I don't know how to put it, you know? It's its own ship in its own right. But it has very distant relations in the Oscar. And it's unfinished. So, yeah, I guess that's it for this ship, sadly. By all means, use it and finish it and tell me what you think of it. Anyway, yes.
Kristina time.
Yes. I love this ship.
Receiving.
It looks so good. So damn good. Like, look at that. Oh. It's very flawed, though. It doesn't look it, and it hasn't performed like it is, but I know that it is, because I made it. And it has that classic sound that you may recognize from somewhere. Because for those that don't know, this is the Vasa weapon system. But this is not Vasa. This is substantially bigger, more heavily armored, and more torpedo equipped than Vasa is. So the weapons are a modified version of the Vasa system with rail guns added on for a slight bit of extra speed. The torpedoes are laser guided, and I can't remember if they were any good or not. And it does have some laser defenses as well. And for those wondering what the flaws are, because they do exist, you only have to look underneath. The sheer quantity of upwards propellers to make it float at the current height that it is now is just bad. Really bad.
As you can see, this is me using the propellers.
Yeah. So, I mean, worst case scenario, it will go down that far, but, for anyone wondering, you don't want to do that. You want to make sure your ships float by themselves, if you can. This is also after I removed some massive missile systems in here. The cost is about twice that of laser. And like I've said, it goes well with laser because it's got a bit more firepower. I would highly recommend it over Vasa if you're going to use these weapons, but I would prefer, I'd recommend not using a ship with such high dependency on fake buoyancy, is what I'll call it. But it looks really nice. As far as why I built it, I think I built it purely because I wanted to reuse the Vasa weapons on something that wasn't Vasa. Because as much as I like Vasa, it does have a tendency to keel over. Pun intended. This ship took the most damage from glitching into the terrain.
I remember that.
Yeah, at the same time, it never really fought a significant battle. At least I don't remember it doing so. All of the significant battles were fought by its colleague that's right next to us here, Stenbock. Stenbock did all the heavy lifting, and Kristina just came in afterwards and looked pretty.
Shall we? Oh, Jesus. Shall we spawn in the Stenbock as well?
Not if you're gonna crash this thing into the into land.
No. It's stopping.
Hello, Stenbock. I'm just gonna... Oh. Why is it permanently going to backwards? It won't not backwards. There we go.
So here is Stenbock. Also a very pretty looking ship.
But also very bizarre at the front. I don't know why I did it like that. This one actually has quite a lot to talk about as well. Unlike a lot of the other ones that we've been going over. So the original sort of thought process behind Stenbock was I wanted something of a similar cost to both Gustav and Magnet, but that wasn't Gustav or Magnet. In other words, it needed to have actual armor, but it still needed to be fast and hit like a brick, a truck, and a truck carrying bricks. So I went with a modification of the Vasa weapon system in the sense that it is lower caliber and higher rate of fire. And in fact, this particular version of Stenbock has even lower caliber and even higher rate of fire guns that are wrong, and this is not the version that you will have access to. You will have access to Alt 3. This is Alt 4. Cost is 2 million. Speed is also 40 meters a second. And it has 6 main turrets, along with 12 smaller turrets, and 4 Cirrus and 4 Plasma. So it is absolutely armed to the teeth, and as always can deal with basically anything except submarines. This modification was in response to the Steel Striders, but it was modified far too late to be of any use to us. And again, it's wrong. It's also got the name of the ship written on the rear deck, which is the only ship to have this, and it looks nice. And yes, it's also made almost entirely out of alloy, so it floats really well, no matter how much damage it takes. The engines are massive, like literally half of the rear deck underneath is just engine. It's monstrous. So yeah, it was, oh yeah, it also has some laser defenses, as well as Cirrus, so it's covered by both explosives and lasers. And yeah, it's a bit of an odd looking one, but I do actually recommend using it. Like, if you combine Stenbock, Kristina, and Laser...
You have a powerhouse.
Apart from dealing with submarines, you have basically everything you need.
Well, don't worry about the submarines, just kill them, lol.
Just gaslight yourself into believing that they don't exist.
Yeah, exactly.
Simple as. If you don't acknowledge their existence, they don't exist. That's how it works. You know what's even better? I'm going to get to ignore them again in the land campaign because it's a land campaign.
No, land campaigns have submarines. Don't
Oh,
worry
do
about
they
it.
now? Oh, do they now? Okay.
Yes, yes.
Time to give all of our tanks torpedo defense.
Yes. I'm gonna send Kristina away. And Stenbock. I love the design. I didn't get to use it much. Like, I didn't actually get to command it that much.
I thought you did.
Not compared to, like, Gustav and Rex.
But it saw more actual battles. Gustav, like I say, was just shooting at small Steel Striders aircraft for most of its existence. Also, Stenbock fought against the Scarlet Dawn. And it was, like, those were some proper battles against the Scarlet Dawn. You know?
Yeah, I did get to use Stenbock. I don't really remember. Once again, my memory's fried. This is what ADHD does to you people. You do not get it. I don't recommend.
But yeah, it's it's just coated in the way I've described it in the description of the videos. Let me actually find an example. Hang on. Where's Stenbock? This one will have Stenbock in it. HMS Stenbock, huge battleship with more guns than is considered reasonable. And as you can see, it certainly lives up to that description. Also, I like how I did the tower as well. I use a lot of decorations to make it look fancy.
And I do love the black paint of it.
Oh yes. The black and purple with the little, like, light grey accents. Once again, that's
Yes.
your choice of paint. But yeah, Stenbock served as well. I recommend using it, but there isn't much to say about it other than that. Built for a purpose, served its purpose, fought well. Got defeated once, mostly due to my own incompetence. I guess we've got the land vehicles to go over. Who do we start with? Kranvagn. Let's see here.
Oh, the Kranvagn! My favorite. Where is it? There.
Why does the suspension look wrong? What happened? I don't remember doing this.
I have no idea. I don't even see the suspension.
Oh, you
But
don't?
the Kranvagn,
For me, it's wrong.
I don't even see it.
Oh my goodness. Oh wait, no, I don't mean the suspension. I mean the tracks are the wrong height. Look. It's underneath the return rollers. Anyway.
The
What
Kranvagn.
Yeah, what is there to say? It's a Kranvagn with a stupidly long gun, a camera system that doesn't really work. On this occasion, it's not full of nukes. And wait a minute, why is there a ship's wheel in here?
Maybe I added that in, I don't know. I added it in just because I want ship control only, because I don't like jet controls.
Yeah, but you can configure the vehicle controller to be either.
Ah.
I don't know, maybe it got knocked off at one point and you panic built it.
Maybe.
Yeah, Kranvagn looks pretty, is awful. That's a running theme.
Yeah. Once again, I love the Kranvagn, but it needs to be improved in order for it to be effective.
even close to
You
effective.
can use it.
Yeah.
You can use it, but don't expect too much from it. The gun is inaccurate. It is fast. It has no armor because we don't use heavy armor, which it should. But it is a fun thing to drive.
The main reason why it's so bad is just because it's so old.
We made this as a joke. We're not even a joke. We did this one for fun when messing around in sandbox or build mode. Land designer in official FTD terms. Oh fuck.
Uh-oh.
See? It resists terrain. Never mind, it doesn't. Solution? Turret.
That's worse. Oh. There we go.
But just if you want the land vehicle to just mess around with, this is your thing along with the Bkans.
Yeah. It's very sideways right now.
There is really not much to say anything about it, except that when we first spawned it in, it was very fun.
Yeah. The land vehicle shenanigans episode.
Yes. And now...
I still don't know what the suspension is like that.
follow me, and we come to...
Hello, Bkan. Oh my god, it still has the jet engines.
This Bkan was modified by Obi to be fast. And it is. But as soon as the terrain is uneven, that happens. The gun is very slow and it doesn't turn all the way.
I know, I changed it so that it does.
Okay, but the original one doesn't turn all the way. Once again, very cheap, very fun to use. But if you're planning on actually using this like in an actual land campaign, please reconsider.
Yeah, rethink your life choices. Oh.
But once again, it's very fun. And we're gonna explode and fucking die. Goodbye, world.
Oh! Apparently not. Now we are. Oh my goodness! Bkan going to space! Uh-oh, we're having a Reliant Robin space shuttle moment.
No.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is what you're gonna see in the Ashes of the Empire. Oh no.
What?
Oh, the barrel took one for the team, it's fine. I guess we should also take a quick look at...
The shityard?
No, the Troll Slender maybe.
So this is the Trollslunda. It is not made for combat.
It did win though, in one combat. I believe it fought a grouper.
If you manually control it, this happens.
Mmm.
This is why I love the Trollslunda.
Or any aircraft for that matter. But
Yes.
it is basically a small transport. It's probably not going to be available for download, but it was a you know, it was a part of the series, so I thought we'd give it a shout out, you know? The radar looks so stupid. But yeah, that's that. It's bad.
Not really much else to say about it.
Then we have the Falcons.
Listening. Listening.
The one that made me laugh for like
Listening.
a lot. We are in space.
Yeah, we are in space. I don't know why we're in space, but this is a better transport. It's very, very fast. It looks stupid. This one might be available for download because it's actually stupidly effective. If you want a really cheap 43,000 material, like 160-ish meters a second, 500,000 material storage transport aircraft, it does actually work quite well. Doesn't look like it does, but I promise you it does. Actually, that's almost 200 meters a second. Is this you controlling it, by the way?
Yes.
Okay. You know what it honestly looks like?
What does it look like?
It looks like an X-Wing fighter from Wish.com. Do you see it?
I kind of do.
Like the engine placement, the overall shape of the hull, and then the no wings.
But I see something else instead.
Well, of course you do.
Yes, it's me we're talking about.
Yes. Anyway, that's the Falcon. But anyway, that was not every vehicle, but almost every vehicle from our from the Dutch campaign. I think, and I hope. Let me just quickly check the description. We've probably forgotten something. No, we actually did. We got all of them. Every one of them from the description of the last episode has been gone over, plus some extra. So that's good.
Very good.
We shall bid you all farewell here.
Yes.
So you know what that means.
Thank you. Va?
Tally-ho!
Tally ho, thank you for this session, and once again, thank you so much for the campaign. It has been an absolute fucking blast. It may never be recreated, but we will still find our fun in the land campaign when it ever happens. Well,
Take care, yes.
Thank you for... Yes, take care. Bye-bye.
Tally-ho!
Tally ho.